Hello, welcome to the stream, Today, we're gonna have to get right into business because I started a little bit later than I wanted to, but, you know, I had a little thing to do. Hold on. Ugh. So today we're gonna be getting straight into Deltarune. We're gonna be playing, starting from the chapter 1, and we're gonna start discussing very heavy spoilers. So this is basically a lore playthrough. I'm not going to read every single bit of text, just text that I think is going to be important to point out stuff. Oh, I hit the mic. Just very important text that we're probably going to be going through and all that other stuff. For those of you who don't know, I've already played the games to basically... I basically know way too much about these games. Or this game and Undertale specifically, but like... I know a lot about this game, and so I already recently did a lore playthrough off stream. So we're gonna do another playthrough. And I actually already did a lore playthrough before chapters 3 and 4 came out. So I guess I'm continuing the tradition of doing it today. And yeah, let's jump right into it here. Oh, there I am. Let me go ahead and start up the game on Steam, because I just forgot to do that, and I probably should have done that. But I kind of got home a lot later than I expected, but it's okay. Off Clip Studio, already here. Running. Okay. Go ahead and hope you all are ready. Look at all those shadow crystals I have. I'm not gonna be able to see my let me know if things start buffering, because I'm not gonna be able to see any of my stats and stuff during this. Look at it, main dog. Okay, so we're gonna do chapter 1. Again, we're gonna speak as if we already know everything, so major spoilers for everything. This is 4 hours. This is probably my initial playthrough. I don't remember which ones. I'm pretty sure the top one is my initial playthrough. No. Is this one? This one's 4 hours. This must be my lore playthrough from last time. Okay. So... yeah, 07s to that file. Just let me know how things go. I wish I had another monitor. Alright. So... excuse me. We all understand that the typeface value for this specific font is like 666, I think. It's either 666 or 66. I'm trying to remember exactly what the type font is for this one, but it is it's very it's very Gaster coded. And also, as we know, the background for this is the freaking water background. All right, so we can select the head. So here's the thing. We don't know if this is going to actually do anything, but I'm probably going to choose as if it does.
More like Undertale.
Ha 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 ha, funny. Give myself the big... and then, you know what, let's choose number 2. It doesn't really matter. This is your body. So, fun fact, a lot of these dialogue choices, like a lot of the choices that you have, if you were to create a separate file, if you were to go immediately into chapter 2, but not pass over a chapter 1 file, it'll default to the first option, which, for example, this would be sweet, right? Let's just, I don't know, let's do sweet. So your favorite blood type, it'll be A. This is another hymn. This song is another hymn. Let's do AB. And what color does it have? let's be a little cheeky and say cyan, because of interesting. So, if I remember correctly, I think this is the one that's that has like a weird glitch to it. So, if you understand the way the way Game Maker works, I think the way it's structured is that this would be 0, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. But for whatever reason, and then like when you choose a file or when you make a file in chapter 2 without doing any of this, you're just making a new file from chapter 2, it'll default to 0. But for whatever reason, this is labeled as -1, this is 0, then this is 1, 2, and 3. So the default would be mined for whatever reason. And that's probably a bug, but not entirely sure. Oh. Yeah, it is a little weird. Possibility of pain and seizure. So if I type in Gasser, it's just gonna make me do it all over again, so I'm not gonna do that. We can make the vessel... I don't know, maybe it checks. I am not answering that. Actually, that might be important. Hold on. Give me a second. That might be important. That might be important. Give me a second. Unless I get another call. Give me a second. Ooh wee, what a great lore playthrough. Sorry, it's because my sister called. She was checking to see if the line was working. Anyways, so we'll name it Jex. We called it Jex. And what about the creator? So if you, there are a number of responses. Like if you put in a lot of if you put in a lot of the characters that are probably like the more important ones, like we put like, let's say for example like Noel, or you put in like Birdly, they'll say like, oh, what an interesting coincidence, like Sans. Also, this is a different typeface. I believe the typeface value is 2 for this one. So yeah. Okay. So excuse me. We've all gone through the whole opening intro. We don't need to go through the intro again. I'm just gonna go through here in the room. It's a beautiful day outside. This freaking drawer will change whatever it says depending on the file. Since I am on file 3, it's gonna say something completely different than what we saw Tokusan say. Read. It's a coupon book. Every coupon is half off for a large pizza. All the coupons expired before the book's print date. So that's a completely different text than from what Tokusan got. How many times have you think you've played Deltarune? Not as much as you think. Not as much as you think. Would like to play more though. There's CDs under the bed: classical, jazz, religious ska. There's also a game console, has one normal controller and one knockoff one. So the knockoff is interesting because what is the most popular knockoff controller? Mad Catz. And I believe this might be a reference to the odd controller from later on in chapter 3. About an air fryer, that's awesome. It's a computer desk. There are many boxes under it filled with old books. This dialogue is going to be very interesting when we go to chapter 4. Freaking Mad Cat. Yeah, Mad Catz. It's stained. It's a red wagon with a rusty birdcage in it. Looks like it's seen quite a few crashes. So I can leave here, and then I can just kind of move around. I'm not going to leave, though. I'm going to go to the bed. We're going to skip that whole freaking intro stuff. You cook your juice box on that air fryer? If you want. There are crayons in this drawer. Their labels have long faded, and there's no green. The lack of green is very interesting. Not entirely sure what that even means. There's not much to say about it. Not yet. Oh, hi, Eve. It's only you. Door's locked. And this is the snail trivia, right? Snails are snails. Scientific refutation. Chris aided the green crayons. So this is like the first ever. There's no time to read anything. This is the only time, or the first time in chapter, or like in like the whole game where you get the mention of Gerson, and it's in your own home. It's, I guess, it's to kind of establish how like popular he was. Okay, so you go back to sleep, you may miss a lot of important things. So that. Fun fact: in survey program, you couldn't skip the dialogue with holding the X button or the top button. You had to get an item when you beat the game after and you're doing your second playthrough. And I believe it's something. I think it's a hand wrist, right? It's a reference to Toby's like hand problems, and he had to have a hand wrist because he had like, you know, his problems, and that would make your text go faster. And I didn't know that it was cut from the game until very recently, because I always thought that it was just there. Like I always thought it was there. It's just like I always thought that you had to do a fresh save, and because I never did a completely like wiped save. But no, that was taken out when chapters Yeah, there's a lot of cutting room floor stuff. Yeah, we're gonna go straight to... But when you open your eyes... See, the watch would... Or the wrist... You know, the wristband would be, like, right here. It'd be, like, right here. Let's go ahead and just... So, a human body contains a human soul, which is a very interesting kind of wording. We have the blade, we have the wooden blade, not too much here. This is the only place in the entire game where you can, like, well, the Dark World is the only place where you can actually change your settings to do, like, auto run and stuff like that. It's really weird. Yep, there is no wristwatch, there's no, wristband in this version. You just automatically have the ability to skip cutscene. Like, hold the button, it'll be good. Okay. Times you see it flickering, the light only you can see. By second nature, you reach out and... This is empty. So y'all know a lot of the dialogue that's coming over here, so I don't have to read every single bit of dialogue, but I will bring up some interesting parallels and things like that. So, like, Deltarune is all about, also hi Lancer.
Jex needs a human soul. Will you give him one? Yes, no.
Does Eve actually sound a lot better? What I think about what's going on in this area. So I think what this area is what Dark Worlds probably are without any influence, or something along those lines. Because there's a similar part in Chapter 3, and it's probably like it's referring to like times before. Yeah, you can actually hear Eve this time. So, also, after for a moment, looks similar. You heard it a bit better. There's something glowing inside. Take it. So we got the glow shard. Glow shard should be the item that increases value every single chapter, and then the dog dollar decreases in value. So you're supposed to get hit here so that you can kind of like... You bathe your body in light. Power shines within you, breaking through the darkness. Any pain you may have had melted away. Eve? I like how she talks and then doesn't anymore.
Deltarune, only 6 days away. I am so excited. 6. 7.
7! So we all know this dialogue right here. Okay, so watch. So now, what Tokusan didn't do in his playthrough, because Tokusan like walking slow, which is perfectly fine, because you probably wouldn't even know about this. See how like I'm running faster? What do you want to make it a race? So they have like extra dialogue from you like going fast. So we all know this funny goofy boy here. Excuse me. So if you don't know, the leitmotif for this song is literally the Knight's theme, which is kind of crazy.
Did you hear that in Chapter 5, Jimmy Fox adding an Easter egg that for the first 100 people to document it, he'll come to house and personally make you a steak dinner.
That's crazy. Oh, I was trying to dodge. I was too busy reading chat. Damn. Yeah, this is the Knight's theme, by the way. Which does play directly after the Knight, when you're chasing after them. Secret snake. Secret stake. There's no way to walk across here. You're ready for more music? So am I. Again, we're just kind of... Castle looms over beneath the empty town, a black geyser. So they use like stuff like fountains and geysers and a lot of water-related like a lot of water related like imagery or like description for the fountains, which is very interesting because like obviously it's called a fountain to begin with, but it's really interesting how interlinked water and darkness is. It's like pouring in. Welcome, heroes. Do not be alarmed. Also, there's a lot. Okay, there is more evidence that Rousey is just British. Okay, we're not listening. Sure, it's really important. And, in my opinion, it's a really nice prophecy. I think we quite like it. We already know it. Really? You've heard it already. Oh, perhaps I shouldn't have rehearsed it so much. Look, dude, we didn't come here for a bedtime story. Just tell us how to get home. The easiest way would be to seal the Eastern Fountain. Fountain? You mean like the water bubbler? Water bub? See, that's another thing. The fountain, that which gives the Dark World form? Are you sure you actually know the legend? Look. No. But if I think I've got enough info, see you two later. Wait! Let me at least tell you how to... One nerd down, two to go. My dad's gonna make me son of the month. Okay, so this is same dialogue. I'm the bad guy. You know, the teardrop-headed kid from the legend? No? Oh boy, this is gonna be hard to explain. I could explain it. Stay out of this, kind boy. No, I'll protect the heroes with my life. Actually, can you hold off? I want to hear this kid. Okay, so long story short, you guys are heroes. You want to go east and seal our dark fountain? That'll stop the darkness from covering the world. We, on the other hand, don't want that. Because it would rule and be great. Wait, why do we want to stop that? I don't know. I guess I could go ask my dad. I could tell you. We got this. So the point is, you want to fight us. Correctamundo. Alright, kid. Now you're telling me something I understand. Okay, so we're gonna just, obviously, we're gonna do, this is basically the same. So let me know how the audio is going. Audio's good? Perfect. Sounds good to me? Perfect. So it's really interesting because Lancer says ho ho ho. You know, like Merry Christmas. Are you two okay? Allow me to introduce myself more properly. I am. Okay, so this is the same dialogue. He says ho ho ho, and it's a reference to Christmas, which is very important in Deltarune. See, it's ever so wonderful to meet you. In chapter 4, I think he says he's a bit chuffed. Okay. This is the same dialogue, so we don't have to worry too much about it. We all know the dialogue for chapter 1. We've played it enough times. We don't have to go too much, we'll just kind of talk a little bit. Rossi caught the ball bug, it's okay. He does look kind of like a bug when he's shrouded in darkness. Okay, so let's not do this. It's just a dummy. Oh, am I having issues? Yeah, he does get mad. He does get, sad. I did skip the hugs. We saw it on Toxon stream. We're fine. That's just the... Okay. Uh-oh. Toxon's here. So this is going to be a very heavily spoiler playthrough, Toxon. Just letting you know. Get your dailies, and then we'll be on your stream later today. Because I'm going to talk a lot about... I'm going to talk about a lot of what's going to be happening. Yeah, I'll be on your stream. Don't worry. We'll discuss more during your stream. No tornadoes today. Perfect.
Toxin is banished.
You can hear Eve. It's so good. I think she's been fixed. All right, so I'm expecting. I'm assuming Toxon's fully gone now. These trees are very interesting. Fields of hopes and dreams. I'll wait a little bit before I start actual discussion, but I'll wait like a little bit before. Your innocent 28-year-old or 29-year-old ears. I forgot. I think he's 29. Oh. So, something interesting about Chapter 1, is that it has a lock-on system that doesn't exist in later chapters. So you can see, like, the little icon that says lock on, that's only in Chapter 1. Every future chapter does not do that. Yeah, people point that out. Isn't it really fascinating?
Rah.
Rah! Bum-ba-ra-ba-bum. Nice dodge. But another the Runa will be sad 5 ever. So it's really interesting. So obviously we have the equipment and stuff, right? And we'll obviously equip Rouse with the thing, and he'll have like extra dialogue for whenever he gets that specific, like the ribbon, right? And ribbons are not something that Susie can equip, but they are something that what do you call it? Noelle can equip, which is really interesting. So whenever you do a battle, right, you're gonna want to do one last defend. You remember doing any equipment and stuff on her? Always. So when it's like equipment stuff, I think probably one of the best stuff to do equip her with is like the Devil's Tail. Devil's Tail would be probably one of the better things to equip her with, and then like the Shadow Mantle that I've seen, because it'll help you with the Gerson fight and it'll help you with the Knight. There's such a no one can tell she's associated. Oh, so you can't normally equip stuff on Noelle, but there is unused dialogue because it's actually lore relevant. My God, please. So like they purposely in the code made it so you could equip her, even though you're not normally supposed to be able to equip her. I'll get an amber card, 2 amber cards. So, just okay. Let's do a little bit of reading. Long ago, The Darkners lived in harmony with the Lightners. They were like gods to us, our protectors, our creators, those who gave us purpose. So, like, I would say, like, imagine this as, like, a, like, because this is an unused classroom these days, I'd imagine it as, like, this room, at some point was very used, like, it probably was either a regular classroom, it was, like, a playroom for the kids, and that ended up just stopped being used for whatever reason. And so they were saying, like, oh, the Lightners, they're like gods to us. It's like because like a lot of kids played in that room, and because over time they just stopped using it, a lot of those toys got left over, and that's why yeah, that's what we were all locked away in this prison. So that means like they close the door to the room and they don't come back. And so the king gets, you know, upset because, you know, they're all gone, and he gets like jealous and everything. So, this is interesting, and I didn't think about this until literally just now. So, this land was ruled by the 4 kings, right? Now, what's interesting is that the group of, the main group that we know of that were, like, really good, close, and, like, tight-knit friends back then were Azrael, Chris, Noel, and Des. That's 4 of them. So if you imagine them as, like, all individual kings, right? Then you can imagine each one of them having, like, their respective king and being like, oh, this is my kingdom. Like, you can imagine kind of, like, the play session that they would have had from back then. If that makes sense. So this is interesting. So it says, a strange night. Instead of saying, like, the roaring night, it says a strange night. And I don't know if it's an implication of this night being different, or if it's like early chapter 1 kind of weirdness, or just like they didn't want to use the word roaring yet because roaring wasn't introduced until chapter 2. But it is interesting. But it is, assuming that the night is one of those 4, like assuming that night is like one of those 4, or maybe even an outsider from those 4, it's like, imagine if it's like an adult or one of those 4 like friends essentially like changing that childhood or taking over it in a different way, if that makes sense. So it's like when you have like a group of, if you have like a bunch of toys, and then like later in life you come back and you're looking at your toys and you just like throw them in a closet or something, or you try to find a different purpose for it, if that makes sense. The remaining king put him and his son for power. Let's say that the knight is one of those 4. I'm not saying it absolutely is, because the knight could be anybody, and there's a lot of theories going everywhere for who the knight could be. Let's say the knight is one of those 4, right? Yeah, this area is dark because it's a closed it's a closed dark room. Exactly. So imagine this, like, let's say you have 4 friends, you and 3 other friends, right? And you don't really, you're kind of not in super communication with the rest of the friends, but like, you know, you kind of know them. One of them is gone, obviously, and then you decide like to put your king, the one that you had, in charge. You know what I mean? Like there must be some sort of connection between the king in chapter 1 and the knight. Maybe the knight had some sort of sentimental value to the king, either because he played with the king as the king was a card, or maybe the offspring of that person, like let's say the father or the mother or whoever, knows about who that, like let's say for example it's Des and Des is missing, and then like I don't know, like Carol or Rudy, whoever is like they're in cahoots with the knight, and then like the knight, they tell the knight like, hey, you know, put this one in charge because, you know, that was for Des. You know, Des was in charge of it. You know what I mean? Like, there could be a specific sentimental link between the king and the knight in that sort of fashion, and so there's probably a specific reason why that king was chosen and not the other kings, if that makes sense. Obviously, he's referring to Jubble here. And this is talking about the... Again, a lot of that speculation is just me speculating, like, right now. I didn't think about that until, like, literally I was reading the text, and I was just like, if you think about it, like, if you have, like, your OC, and you want your OC to be all-powerful, why not just make him all-powerful and, like, overthrow all the rest of the kings? Okay. So this, when I first replayed this... when I first replayed this, right, it sounded like Baby Santa Claus. It's really interesting how much they reference, like, Christmas and, like, winter season. Because he goes, haha, Merry Christmas, right? Which is interesting because, think of it this way. If the... So, we're not entirely sure, but we believe that the knights did create this dark fountain, right? Merry Christmas! So we're pretty sure that the knight did create this dark fountain, right? So if the knight created this dark fountain, part of the knight's kind of like... There's a targeting system that doesn't get used anymore. If the knight has, like, part of their kind of, like, their essence kind of imbued in the dark world, right? Then, one, they have a special connection to that dark world, or, like, that area in the dark world, and also, what I'm trying to say is that their essence is kind of, like, imbued in the dark world itself, so Lancer saying ho 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 could be a signature of who the knight is, if that makes sense. Like, part of their personality, part of their being is imbued in... Because, like, if you remember, when Susie makes the Dark World in Chapter 4, a lot of her confusion, a lot of her, like, teenage, like, angst and her confusion is imbued into that Dark World. And we know that, like, a lot of Chris's, like, kind of, like, nature is also imbued within Chapter 3. So, what's to say a lot of that nature isn't also imbued in the Chapters 1 and 2 Dark Fountains? This is really interesting. Press the boxes on the Switch with A. Who the hell is A? Or you can just, like, push your hand. Yeah, you can just use your hands. We already saw the funny Easter egg here. I don't remember what what this was again. What was it? I always forget when I'm doing my playthrough of this. Diamond Heart Club Spade. Okay. Okay. There you go. Thank you. I always forget when I'm doing this. So just like an easy way, you go to Hathy, use X Flatter, that... Shoot! I forgot to warn them. It's okay, I can do a warning. Okay. It's okay. Oops. Okay, now we're good. Is there any fandoms aside from FNAF? I think FNAF is a little less, like, interesting when it comes to theorizing, because FNAF is kind of like... a lot of it is just like fan fiction at this point. Like FNAF used to be very interesting for theories, and then I did not make it here. Used to be a lot more interesting with theories, but it got really annoying really quick, and every other like day they talk about how they solved FNAF. That's really dumb. So I really don't care too much about FNAF theorizing as much anymore. Like, I kind of still do, but it's like, I don't think the Mimic stuff is too much. It's just like at some point, at some point, it just gets really like fanfiction. If that makes sense. Like, I don't know where it's going anymore. Like, I've lost the plot. We're gonna do Neat Flavor, because this is the Fun Gang. That's the official name. The official name is the Fun Gang. Just look where it shines and just go where it is. See, you know, shines, and there you go. Oops. Well, I already lost. Okay. Oops. That's fine. Okay, spare... Oh, actually, yeah, spare Pawn Man. Ah, I did the wrong thing. Okay. Defend, magic, pacify... I could have gotten rid of it in a quick turn, but it's fine. Yeah, the Fun Gang is is their canon name. Like, that's the name that's done, that's set in the, that's the name that's set in, like, a lot of the development stuff, and, that's what Toby Fox officially refers it to. So, Susie won't pay, so this thing won't pay attention to you no matter what, so it doesn't really matter if you, pay too much attention. Like, it doesn't really matter if you're, if you tell Susie to do anything. She's gonna attack it regardless, so it doesn't really matter. Bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. This song was stuck in your head today? Good. Almond milk! Creature. Oh! Again, we already know the plot for Chapter 1, so it's not super crazy. Okay, so here's where things are going to get really interesting in terms of the conversation. Because I'm going to propose a very fascinating idea. So I think the idea for this chapter specifically is that this chapter is a parallel. Aren't there supposed to be two of them at the door? Wait, two of what? Oh, I don't remember. Oh yeah, Hans was there. Oh, it's probably because it was Jigsaw and I didn't speak to him. Throw money in the hole later. bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I didn't speak to him. Hates you now. Oh, I probably should have talked to them. So I probably should have talked to them. Yeah. Okay. So there's a conversation with Rouse who speaks about like making like a little floral thing for I forget was it a floral vignette for Lancer, which is like the first ever instance of Rouse being connected to flowers, which is incredibly fascinating because the only other time we get reference to that, or like the one time we get reference to that, to the point where like we have to kind of like put attention to that, is I think the one time we got merch of Rouse like surrounded by flowers, and Toby said something along the lines of, "Oh yeah, Rouse always gets like confused for flowers" or something like that, like something along those lines. So it's like incredibly fascinating. So Spade, Diamond, and Clover. Okay. You own that Rosse shirt too. Isn't that interesting? So it's Spade, Diamond, Clover. So, oh wait, no, hold on. There we go. So this is BO. It's just BO, right? What did I end up getting? Oh, so I forgot to equip anything. I got like a dice brace. Actually, if you look at what Rouse says about the dice brace, it says friendship because it's made out of dice. There's probably like like the dice like band that you would wear, like the armband that you would wear when you were a kid. What was it? I think I already did that. Up, 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 up. There's only so many it could be. There you go. So, okay. What's really interesting is that earlier, there's an NPC that says that the things that Clover likes to talk about are trees, boys, and sports, which is all very fascinating because all those things can be related to something, right? Trees is a very fascinating thing. Yeah, we'll do the dialogue. Okay, so we do act, right? It can be talking about birthday. So what's interesting is that birthday is the thing that replaces trees. Because trees was one of the main dialogue boxes or the main things that were hinted at from the previous Rudin that was in one of the other rooms that I ended up skipping. So it's really weird that there's emphasis on trees, especially with all the tree knowledge that we have, like, now. So you talk about trees, this is what they say. You brought up the topic of trees. Clover seemed happy. I love the smell of trees. Pollen makes me, sure. Oh, me too. They don't really say anything interesting, but it's the option of trees that's fascinating. It smells like clover and dew. Let's talk about animals. You brought up the topic of animals. Clover didn't seem to care. Animals are kind of nasty, just awful in concept. Never seen one, but... Talk about birthday. What'd you like for your birthday? Let's have a nice chat. You idiot, ask for gifts. Okay, seems like you should talk about something else. My birthday. What? No, it's my birthday. We're triplets. In Chapter 2, they gave them little icons so you can tell them apart. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting because I'm gonna propose the idea that, well, let's do this really quick. Let's do the top cake and we'll return it real quick. Just do this real quick. Ah, oh, so close. Remember, go instead of doing the root and do the Hathy instead, so you can get both of them at once.
Please, I have good news and bad news. The good news is, I did a 10 Polonoma Museum and got her shaker. The new 3-star, so happy pride to me. The bad news is, I am literally so sick that I do not have the brain cells to play her.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Nate. I hope you get better soon. Hope you're doing well, Nate. This is a lore playthrough, so I'm going to be talking a lot about the lore of this game, and I'm playing the game a little bit faster, and then later when we go to Tokusan's stream, we're going to be doing Tokusan's, first time playing the game. Whoops, I did defend by accident. Yeah, please get better soon. The most you can do is stare at your laptop. That's okay. Yeah, we're talking about the lore, and I'm going to propose a very fascinating theory in a bit. Once we get back on track to where we're supposed to be. So Deltarune is a very fascinating story in terms of, let's give him a Dark Dollar. So you can just say no, $1, and you can get the tutorial. Then you put the dollar in the hole. There you go. And he should be at the other door. If I go to Forest, he should be there now. Oh no, he's not there. He just doesn't want to be there anymore. It's fine. We're gonna get the Rudin stuff. We're gonna get this. Okay. So we may fund our illicit deeds. Okay, so we're gonna basically have all 3 key pieces pretty soonish. The only thing is that we can't get the last key piece until we speak to Jebel, so that we're not gonna be able to do that. Oh my god, that's so fast. Let me show you my training. Okay, so let me go ahead and act on this block. Oh, I pressed it by accident. Oh yeah, I have Eve. Yeah, Eve, she pops up. This one, and that one. Yeah, so she pops up every 20 minutes, yep. I want to have other animations of her, so one of them is going to be like her laser. As a 1v1, I'm going to do like a laser. I've animated most of it. Hi, Mario fan. Get your daily juice. Breathe all. A nice, tidy girl, a fresh girl. So, I think in chapter... I think it's chapter 3. You need to pay attention to the dialogue that they say, because they say some very fascinating dialogue. You're gonna have to avoid spoilers for a bit? Oh, no. Yeah, they say Lost Girl stuff, which is very fascinating. No, you're fine, Mario fan. Sweet and fresh girl, refreshing boy, and a refreshing girl. Oops, I'm gonna die if I don't actually do anything. Defend and spare. They could have skin flakes of people. Thank you for the stretch and hydrate. We're gonna try to get through chapter 1 before Toku's stream. Ooh. I mean, most dust is like does have skin. Got a revive mint. Gonna save that for the night fight because I'm definitely gonna need it. Though I've gotten better with that fight. I've done it like first try. So thank you so much for the gifts up to Nate. Hope you enjoy all those emotes. We actually have another couple of emotes for 7TV, assuming you have 7TV. I made some new ones yesterday. I'm gonna do duck, yellow, duck, yellow, and then duck, and we're done. Anything beyond vanilla makes most sites turn it into an what do you use for your browser? No, we don't get them from the Mizzles. We actually get the we get like there's a different item that we get from the Mizzles that you can only get from them. Hello? Of course I have to do this. These birds are pissing me off. I'm the original Star Walker. It's Chrome, use Firefox on PC, but I never bothered to swap for your MacBook. I would highly advise you to just switch to Firefox. I switched to Firefox, and oh my god, everything is so much better. Let's see how long this takes. Probably should on this thing, basically just sitting on my bed machine though. Yeah, highly recommend switching to a different browser because Chrome is just terrible. And also 7TV works on Chrome anyway, so you should be good. It's just a... Honestly, having a MacBook sounds really nice. Having something portable you can use. I would love to have like a laptop that I can like stream through. There it is. So, I'm gonna point this out now. So, the egg room, right? The egg room is very closely connected to the Scarlet Forest from Chapter 1, right? And we... Alright, Mario fan, have a good one. So... We have... So basically, the egg room... Oh, like you kind of go a little bit out of bounds, but you can't go out of bounds here. Only when you get up here. So basically, in other words, this tree is very kind of relevant. Well, there's a man here. He offered you something. You received an egg. Well, there's not a man here. It's a tree. So this song is called the Watts Sodom Sakata or something like that, originally. Because it was made for a Yumaniki fan album, I think. And then it was reused for the Egg Room. So I think it's called man.ogg. Pokemon Straps. So this was, this track was repurposed, essentially. Okay, you know what? Give me a quick second. I'll be right back. I need to say hi to my dad. So people found this, from what I understand, people found this completely by accident. Because the room transition between that and there are randomized, people just either... I'm pretty sure they found it either by accident or they found it through the code, but I think it was by accident. Because it's a randomized amount of times you have to do a room transition. You can probably get it pretty quickly if you had, like, good RNG. So at some point, somebody probably already did find it. Just like how some people naturally found the Chapter 3 egg room, which is kind of insane, because the Chapter 3 egg room is kind of, like, very convoluted, in a good way. So, in other words, okay, basically what I'm trying to say is, keep the Scarlet Forest in mind as we're gonna continue going through here. Because this portion that's coming up is some of the more interesting parts of the game, specifically for Chapter 1. Let's just go over here, though. Let's go through this portion. I love the music. I like the music for this area too. So, you like the Cat Eye video? Yeah, isn't it really good? Mr. Today. Oh, I don't know if Nicholas gonna watch anything. Okay, so you can't actually come up over here beforehand. Though hard to see, there was a switch in the tree. How did you know that was there, Chris? You're really amazing, you know that, Chris? Okay. So here. Okay. So what I'm gonna propose to you, and I think it's been brought up other places before. I did think about it on my own, and then I found out that, like, I think once somebody, I think somewhere it was brought up at some point. So I think this portion of Chapter 1 is a parallel to the Lost where the what's it called? Lost where the forest will grow, the poor children. In other words, that portion of the part in Chapter 4 that was stated. This is a parallel. It's not, obviously, I don't think it's going to be exactly one-to-one, but the idea is that, like, they all went to the forest, right? And whoever the person was who made this dark fountain probably had that in their mind, and so that's probably why the Scarlet Forest was made, in a sense, like, why, like, this is paralleling, because, like, remember, whenever somebody makes something based on, like, whenever somebody makes a dark fountain, a little bit of them makes it into that dark fountain. And so, if it was somebody who was closely related to this event, like the event in which they, you know, the children got lost, right? Then this is kind of like a very early hint of that event. And because you have 4 people right here. You have Susie, you have Lancer, and you have Rouse, and you have Chris, right? The only person that was probably actually there was Chris, right? Obviously, Lancer and Rouse are 2 Darkners, and Susie barely moved in not too long ago, so she probably wouldn't have been there for that event, right? So, Chris probably being the only one that was there, it's really interesting because the way we have it is that Susie is basically saying, oh, I know where. Oh no, Lancer knows where to go. I'm gonna follow Lancer. Something like, beware yourselves of the forest maze. You'll probably get completely lost. Which is very interesting wording. Without someone who knows the way through, that is. Yeah, I know the forest like the back of my head. So, basically, they're following somebody who says that they know the way around the forest, but they don't know the way around the forest. Because they're going the complete opposite way. So in reality, if this is a parallel to the, if this is a parallel to what actually happened, they probably did follow Lancer. You know, the person who is supposed to be the placeholder for Lancer, right? So they probably did follow Lancer, right? And they got themselves lost. Because they were lost where the forest would grow. Right? And, what are those dancing guys? I don't remember. don't remember what they're supposed. Like, yeah, they're kind of like origami. By the way, there used to be a glitch here in Survey Program. You just walk out here, and you just like clip out of bounds. It doesn't really do anything, but it's really funny. Oh, that's not good actually. Okay. So Susie will later reference. Susie will later reference. Oh, there's scissors. Interesting. Oops. Scissor dancer. Yeah, that makes sense. Oops. Yeah, it's like yes, it's stuff like you know, like the macaroni stuff in the classroom and like lots of arts and crafts. So the room was probably used for a lot of arts and crafts. It was probably just like a fun room to be in. Oh, they look like Japanese kanji in a way. That's really interesting. Excuse me. The kanji for heaven. That's fascinating. But you're telling me all this isn't just in their imagination? No. So not necessarily. So the idea is that the games that they would play, a lot of the imaginary things that they would do, is what influences the dark worlds that are created, right? So a lot of the lore that exists within the dark world exists because of the make-believe and all the playthrough and all that other stuff those kids did in that playground, right? Like the 4 kingdoms that exist in this area were probably 4 kids who are playing around with each other and saying, I'm the king, no, I'm the king, no, I'm the king, no, I'm the king. And it's like, we're all kings, and this is my kingdom, this is my kingdom, and this is my kingdom, and this is my kingdom. And then later on, as like you know, the world was abandoned because the classroom becomes like unused, the one of those kids who's probably grown up, who probably is trying to figure out what's going on with whatever the main story is, right? Comes in, places their king at the very top and puts the other kings away and puts them in charge, and then, you know, creates the dark fountain and everything. That's my theory proposal that I came up with today. But it makes sense because, again, things that you will find out later on in chapter 3, right? In chapter 3, it references that all these items, like for example, the king, the queen, they were all brought from the unused classroom and also the library and all these other places, and they would all kind of hang out together, which is how they know each other and reference each other. And that's how Spamton knows Tenna, because Chris brought the laptop to their home. And you know what I mean? So the history of how they interacted with these objects, which is also in relation to what's his name? Ram, right? That all influences how they come to be in the Dark World, including who is the person who created the Dark World to begin with. Oh, I'm doing some sick dodges there. So it's like, it's not necessarily make-believe, but it's like, imagine if your childhood imaginary friend was haunting you. Because Rouse could be also an imaginary friend or something along those lines that was influenced by Chris's imaginary friend or something like along those, like something they really wanted to be. Right. coming to life. Like, we don't know what Rouse is. I'm saying it as, like, a possibility, right? Rouse could be anything. Like, there's a lot of hints towards Rouse being, like, more of a flower, if anything. Of course I ate the moss. Why wouldn't I eat the moss? Add a spade, diamond, swap, spade. Excellent. Moss. We're all mossed out. So that freaking... The freaking crack in the wall is not the same color as the rest of the wall. Also, it doesn't matter where you go. She's gonna go left regardless. I want to know what Rosse is telling Chris. I want to know too, because they're having secret conversations out of the view of the player. This whole part's scripted. Can't really do anything about it. You can technically die. There is a way to die. It's really hard, but you could die. The elephants were the best part of all the animal shapes. Because of the fact that they're elephants, or so yeah. So you can see the heart coming from the corner. That's where Chris is. And Toby Fox really wants you to know that the heart is where Chris is. Toby Fox really, really wants you to know that that's where Chris is. Can we talk about how Lancer has a ton of HP? Yeah, Lancer has crazy HP, doesn't he? He is a spongy boy, isn't he? So, also this song sounds very, very sad. He is a good lad. His tongue is still sticking out. I thought his, like, when I first played this game, I thought Lancer had, like, a blue lower lip. That's his tongue. His tongue is lower, though. You can kind of see it more here. Hi. Also, the animation that plays whenever Chris's heart comes out is the same exact like the little animation kind of flare that happens whenever the heart gets out of Chris's body and into the battlefield. It's the exact same animation that plays when Chris takes out the soul, like, throughout the game. Exact same, which is very interesting. So, in other words, in canon, the soul is being extracted from Chris and going into that, like, that field, like the green, like, box and stuff. And I don't know if they're completely aware of the green box. The three formal kings. All four of us ruled together, but when the knights arrived, everything changed. Oh, my diamonds, my jewels, you must tell me they're all right, oh? What, you say the world is in danger? Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Oh, I'm just a cage. Nobody talks to me. Are you enjoying the show? Making a puzzle with the license. We did all this yapperage. This jail is pissing me off. I'm the original Star Walker. You'd like my king theory? Maybe Noelle would be the hearts. It's possible. That'd be kind of scary, too. Chris does have a lot to do with the Rudins. And we know for a fact Chris is not the knight. that Rudin-looking king is not... Maybe that's the one that Chris used. Chris Knight Theory. They were like half right. So you have to like interact with Jevil first before you go ahead and... Because Jevil will make it so you can go ahead and get the key from Sham. Of course we're going to fight Jevil. So you can kind of see how this is like... You see that line going down? That's like going out of bounds, by the way. The castle ends here, right? The door exists without, like, outside the boundaries of this area. You think Jevil would have been a mandatory boss? See, that's an interesting theory that I didn't even think about until you mentioned it. Yeah, Sham says you can deal with Jevil now. So I wonder if you can if you skip out on dealing with Jevil, if Jevil returns in Chapter 5, he'll be harder. I wonder. Eh? What are you talking about? A prisoner with an odd manner? No, you couldn't possibly be talking about him. I see. After all the trouble I went through to lock him up, you want to release him? Now that you mention it, it could be troublesome if he was left alone. Yes, perhaps it's better if you heroes dealt with him now. After all, it's not if whatever happens will matter in the end. Perhaps a little chaos might be fun. So then, take this. If you're so driven, find the other two pieces and get someone to fix them. I'll even give you a hint. Walk where the stars don't shine. Anywho, if you succeed... Back here, tell me. Good luck. If you can call this luck. No, it's more like a curse. Can't have order without chaos, it's true. So we're gonna go ahead and... Oh, fix us, I guess. The key is blue, which is fascinating. Get food items and stuff? Yeah, I'm gonna prepare. Just give me a sec. Where's gonna go to castle? I have glow shard, dark candy, spin cake, hearts, donuts. I'm fine. No! Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Besides Jevil and the egg, is there any secrets that I should be worried about for Chapter 1? There is some stuff afterwards, and I'll explain that after we beat Chapter 1. We go into like when you go into the overworld and stuff. There's a thing that can transfer over into Chapter 2. The key! A marvelous one is about to break free. Would you let yourself outside? Use the key. Okay. Do a quick safety save. So you can do this fight pacifist, you can do it fight him. There's not really necessarily a purpose. You can get the Jevil's what's it called? The Devil's Knife or the Jevil? No, it's the Jevil's Tail or the Devil's Knife. Both are pretty good items. Then after you, I can play with everyone else too. No, it's a simple numbers game. When your HP drops to 0, you lose. Huh. Then I gotta warn you. You're dealing with a couple of sharks. Shock to shock! Would have it any other way. Now, let the games begin.
Chaos, chaos.
Oh, that one. This is still hard to dodge. Let's do heal prayer for Boston. Okay, smells like chaos. Can't do hypnosis. Okay, so just stick around over here in the corners.
I can do anything.
Ah, this one still sucks though. But just kind of like wiggle around here a little bit. Stick down here for a little bit, and just kind of go up. I don't even remember what turn I'm in.
I can do anything.
Oh, that's how they do it. They like do it like a little spin here. It's kind of crazy.
I can do anything.
This is still kind of annoying to deal with though. Okay, let's go ahead. Defend, item, dirt candy. Let's give it to Chris, and you know what? Dirt candy to Susie. And this is Tokuson's gonna have to do this on stream. Hey. Can't do that. Okay. Defend, item, dirt candy, Susie. Chaos Bomb was prepared for you. Can't do anything. Defend, item. Let's just use a spin kick. Alright, boys and girls. Hey, Ellen. We're doing well. Okay, feels like a whirlwind. Houses. Okay, he's preparing the, his move. Okay, something. Let's just use hypnosis.
Bye-bye.
Okay, just kind of stick down over here. Wait for him. Just got hit. Neo Chaos. Alright, we're good. The freaking heckin' yellow clown. Crazy. Can't use that. Defend. Rosse, use a heal prayer on yourself.
I can do anything.
It's fine. It's just Susie. Let's put a Lancer cookie for Susie and defend. Oof, Susie still died. Okay, Chubble's putting all the stops. Okay, Okay, Dark Candy on Chris. Let's just use a revive man real quick. Alright. We should be back on track. Oops. Alright, we're good. Okay, so, hypnosis. Alright. Oh, he's preparing another one. Stay down here for a little bit. Go up. Devil is truly exhausted. Alright, defend, defend. Alright, we're done. Alright. What fun! I'm exhausted! You kids tire me up. Now I will sleep for the other 100 years. Unfortunately, you kids cannot have such a pleasant dream. From now, a nightmare will awaken within your hearts. It's a very interesting phrasing here. A nightmare will awaken within your hearts. We all know that Chapter 3 secret boss stuff relates to nightmare. So that's very interesting. In the shadow of the Knight's Hand, a nightmare will awaken within your hearts in the shadow of the Knight's Hand. So it's comparing both. It's combining both the nightmare and the shadow of the Knight's Hand. In other words, connecting both of those specific things. So a nightmare and the shadow of a Knight's Hand. Chapter 3. Lightners, can you stop it? Either way, a mischief, mischief, a chaos, chaos. Lightners from inside your little cell. Take this and do your strongest.
Metamorphosis.
The Shadow Crystal, Devil's Tail was added to your armors. Okay, so if you were to equip the... So Susie has nothing equipped, but if you equip the Devil's Tail, figured I'd grow one someday, which is an interesting thing to say because there's a lot of hints towards Susie... or not hints, but there's a lot of, like, it's part of the story, but there's a lot of the story that's kind of like, Susie has a tail. So it's the interesting kind of phrasing for this is Susie saying, figured I'd grow one someday. So, like, is that implying that Susie's tail is small and that's why she's embarrassed by it? Better than nothing. Also, you can't unequip it from Susie. If you were to try to get some other item in Chapter 1, hey, hands off. Let's go back to floor 1. And in future chapters, you can unequip it, but in Chapter 1, you cannot unequip it. So there's the king's spoils, or like their spoils. EP ball, take a nap. Oh yeah, Sham. So let me go ahead and really quick. I'll get a shortcut after this. Have a good night, Nate.
Heck with it though, I think I'm gonna have to head off. I am VP from Flow, so have a great rest of stream. Love y'all and thank again Sen for the subject voice and hot jigs voice and hot jigs voice and hot.
Have a good night, Nate. Don't worry, I'll get to do that voice later. Oops. I love this gag, because it's like... Or did Susie... Hell nah. Let's see if Rossi can do it. I suppose if it can't be helped. Hathy, your beauty is just transcendent. Your hair is like a waterfall of... Wait, do you have hair, or... Hathy felt awkward and left.
Just rated us with
Hey Kensu, welcome to Raiders.
I'm a warm welcome.
I was Hades too. Very heavy spoilers for Deltarune's chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. because we're going to be talking about all that stuff as we prepare for Chapter 5. And then later on, we're going to raid Tokusan, who is doing a blind playthrough, is currently on Chapter 1. I'm probably going to do another playthrough, or I'm probably going to do another stream on Sunday. No, yeah, on Sunday, because I think Saturday I'm going to do a different stream. Yeah. Take her, Kenzu. If you ever want to share some of that art stuff, feel free to share it whenever you're finished with it. Oh dear, wait! Oh dear, wait! Rossi's just British. Excuse me. I love this. The funny part of this gag is this is the what do you call it? The punchline. This is the punchline, essentially. You ordered Susie to flirt with the enemy. Oh my god, Chris, I can't. Do it yourself. You said some sweet lines. The enemies were deeply enamored. And then it works. Yeah, good luck, Ellen. So the punchline is that, like, none of them can do the flirt thing, but Chris just instant win. Also, we are now Bed Inspector. Didn't expect him to be such a charmer. It's like a weird plot point. I know, isn't the Bed Inspector thing so fun? It does kind of look like an 80s dungeon crawler RPG, doesn't it? Don't worry, we'll have more of this freaking creature later on, folks, on stream. This freaking song. Why are there trees here? This is all the stuff that they like Clover likes. So it's like, you know, sports, trees. But these freaking trees. Yeah. This is Lancer's room. So here's the elevator. Hey, Eve. Okay, so now we'll go talk to Sean. Yeah, I'll talk to them in Clover's room. Let me really quickly go talk to Sean. We can do it on either stream. It doesn't really matter. He was a funny little man, once a court jester, I the court magician. A friend? Would I consider him a friend? Perhaps, perhaps not. But he was the only one who matched me in the games we used to play. One day, he met a strange someone, and since then, he began to change. He started saying bizarre things that didn't completely make sense, but didn't completely not make sense either. Soon he began to see the world as a game, and everyone as its participants. As the court mage and his only companion, I was forced to lock him away. Or rather, lock us all away, in his own words. Since that time, the strange words he said has struck inside my cotton, and my view of this world has become darker, yet darker. Reflecting on these old memories, I think perhaps I missed playing games with him. And I wonder if I hadn't been asked to lock him up, I would have found a little bit more purpose in my life. You defeated him? You really defeated him? I see. Perhaps you three may truly be the heroes after all. But Jevil was just a taste of what you'll face from now on. One day soon, you too will begin to realize the futility of your actions. At that time, feel free to come back here. I'll make you tea. And we can toast till the end of the world. Jevil's corruption. Tokuson's gonna start streaming at 8 my time, right? No, in about an hour? Okay. EST, so about an hour. Okay, we can. I mean, we're already gonna beat the chapter anyways. Let me go to the Clover room real quick. Put it in the toilet, which we don't even have. Please try the base boss. Eat so many you can choke. Or do they eat sports? Twister, stay out of our way. We even lose by ourselves. 7:30. Yeah, for me it's 7:30. First party member, on charge of the DPS, Dancing Party soundtrack. Effie is the second party member. It's the healer. She was in charge of catering the party. Unfortunately, the cake she commissioned was destroyed in the field somewhere. It's a tree for parties. A bone box. It's playing clubs music. It's a giant baseball for parties. Bed for 3 people, or 1 3-headed person. Chillest music ever. So, we can get the Dainty Scarf, which is probably better for Rouse. The rules is here. See that with the dungeon works? Okay, so, fluffiness is up. I'll protect everyone! Bought some amber cards, and I probably didn't need amber cards. It's fine, I'll sell it later. Okay, so this is gonna be really interesting. So I'm gonna skip all this dialogue. We'll read it at Tokuson stream, but I have to go fast for this upcoming dialogue. Oops. Oops, I accidentally did that. Okay, it's done. Okay, so I gotta go fast. I gotta go fast. Arr, she blows. Wait, you didn't know that? Arr, she blows. That's been there since the beginning. Okay. Interesting thing about this room. See, you see how there's like a lot of slashes? This feels like there was some sort of scuffle that happened over here. Like it makes it like obviously there's slashes, so it's very much like the knight was here, right? And this implies that like the king probably attempted to fight the knight because obviously the king had no idea what was going on. They seem to have been through some kind of struggle, right? And so basically it implies because I wouldn't think it would be the knight, but these look like they've been slashed, right? So the idea is probably the king probably tried to fight the knight at one point, knew that it was completely futile, and decided to follow by their orders. Because this is damage probably done by the knight. Which is interesting. So we're at the end of the chapter. Yeah, the triangle shape does look like the knight's eye, doesn't it? So we're gonna go over all this dialogue later. Also, after this fight, oops, took damage. Doesn't really matter. It's so funny that you see Dual Heal and Red Buster, like, only in chapters 1 and 2. Once you get to, like, chapter 3 and 4, you don't really see it. I wonder if that's gonna make a comeback at some point. Oops. I like how it says darkness pours. Again, another reference to the fact that, like, darkness and water are one and the same. Also, look at this. And then Toby Fox said, "Cool mantle, bro," and everyone went crazy because of Chapter 3. Why did it fly away? That was definitely the Shadow Mantle, for whatever reason. Cool mantle, bro. Why did Toby Fox say this? Also, you can see the straight pixel. Yeah, he made sure that we knew. The funny thing is that when he said that, nobody said a thing the first time. It wasn't until after Chapter 3 we were like, oh god. Also, another, like, more proof that Chris genuinely cares about Susie and Rouse. You know what? You're probably right, Sen. I didn't even think about that. The Pippins, yeah, they've been there since day 1. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're probably right. Also, Susie in Chapter 1 has, like, this 1 pixel under her eye, and it's gone in Chapter 2. Like, see that outline under her eyes? I think it, like, disappears. Okay, so, obviously, we're not going to spend too much time. We're going to do this on Tokusan stream. Fun fact, this is B-O-O-B. I wonder what that spells. Hmm. I wonder. Again, we're not gonna do too much discussion. Yeah, that must be how he survived the night. Lots of dialogue we'll read in stream. Actually, what does he say? What's all the fuss about? Fewer people are in cages. Yeah. Show's over. Everyone go home. It grew to respect you. Well, actually, maybe it shrunk to respect you. Haha, funny. Okay, so there's Rase taking off his cat that you'll never see again. I like Dark World, like I like the way Rase looks like with his hat on, but I actually prefer the way he does without it. I think it's like more confidence for Rase. A random DM from somebody from a server that, what is this server? That server. I don't know. I don't think I'm actually even active in that server. Oh yeah, block. Be gone. Be gone. Comes from people. Why did I get a Texas.mp3? What? Yeah, be purged. See Susie like kind of look at Susie. See how she's like walking diagonally. I'm listening. It's so silly. I'm listening to it. So this song is called "The Holy," and it'll be referenced in a couple of other places. So remember this leitmotif, especially the na 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 na. So this song, "The Holy," is referenced in Chapter 3 in the Sword Route. Da na 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 na. That song. So the Holy is referenced in a couple other things. Don't even get me started about Penumbra Phantasm. Don't. This song has a Penumbra Phantasm reference in its deep rabbit hole that I'm not going to go into right now. Very deep rabbit hole. So I'm very curious. I wonder how if this room was like left like this, or what we did affected it. I'm assuming not necessarily. It's really weird. So okay, think of it this way. I can imagine. Yes, there's Squidward right there too. So we know that excuse me. We know that okay. Whenever you enter a dark world and you leave the dark world, like you see the fountain and everything, the room is usually the same, right? So I'm assuming this room is just the way it was when it was probably left alone, abandoned, or some point in a period of time. It was just left this way, right? This is probably the state that it was when it was when the dark fountain was made. However, in chapter 4, the presence of the Titans implies, like, strongly implies that if you have like a strong enough darkness, like the Titans, you can affect the light world. Which is why in chapter 4, when you're done with the dark world there, and you seal the fountain, the entire church is like in ruin. Like it's just completely messed up, right? Um, so I was wondering if this had a similar thing happen to it, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think the knight has the same capability. I don't think the knight has the same capability as a titan. And okay, I think the knight can probably beat a titan. Like, I think the knight can beat a titan, and we pretty much know that it probably can, right? But I don't think the knight it affects the world in that sense, if that makes sense. Like in such a big struggle like that. Um because or at least maybe they haven't been pushed to that point yet, if that makes sense. We know that a knight could probably defeat a titan because the black knife exists, and the black knife, if you use it on a titan, like the one that we get, um it does major damage, right? By the way, this door is the link between so like remember that door at the end of at the beginning of chapter 1, like the big grand door? That's this door. That's this door right here. In other words, that's just kind of showing that this dark world and that dark world are two separate things. So it's established in chapter 3 that the grand door is the exit of the dark world, the exit and entrance of the dark world. So whenever you're leaving a dark world, you go through a grand door. Whenever you're entering a dark world, you might not be in the dark, like, you know what I mean? Like, you might not be in the grand door, but like, because you might, depending on how you get in and everything. But usually, hi Spelly. Usually, like the grand door symbolizes the entrance and exit of a dark world, right? So, in other words, it could be possible that the darkness from within the basement probably leaked in here, but more likely than not, the dark fountain that was made over here was purposely made, and the dark fountain that's in the basement, like the you know, the broom closet and all that stuff, that was probably naturally formed because it is a pure dark fountain. It's not. I think the implication is that dark fountain was made naturally. So everything in in the castle, like in Castletown, that's all implied to be a natural dark world, because like what every darkner that goes in there does not have to worry about being turned to stone because it's naturally made. Is it ever explained how these fountains are naturally made? As far as I understand it, if you have a deep enough darkness that, like, how do I say it? Like, if there's like, let's say for example, I don't know, there's a cave or something that exists, right? You could probably go within that cave, and like the deeper you go, the more likely chance you're gonna run into a dark world, dark fountain or something that exists. Like there's natural places where darkness grows, if that makes sense. And so this broom closet, or whatever this closet is, probably wasn't used for such a long time that it naturally created a dark fountain. I'm assuming. Ignore the dark smoke coming out of my mouth and nose. Hi, duck windows. So, I'm not going to go over every single interaction with this, because we're going to do that on Toxon stream. But I will kind of go over some of the more interesting and more important stuff. You can come over here. You can kind of do some of the interactions and stuff in here. The Throne of the Gods. It's a computer. Its desktop wallpaper is you and your brother dressed up for Halloween 8 years ago. 8 years ago. A poster of several basic shapes: circle, oval, square, hyperdodecahedron. Written in cursive on the dry erase board seems like it hasn't been erased in a very long time. I know that, so back in the early days, from what I remember, when I was in school, it was back in when I was a kid, they would use chalk, and then like as I was growing up, they were transitioning into marker boards, but especially in the early days, they would have chalk, and usually the teacher would have their name up in the corner, and sometimes because teachers have been here for a long time, they don't have, and they usually keep the same room. They don't have to they don't have to erase it and remake it all the time. They'll just leave it there because it's like, why bother? And sometimes you'll have like chalkboards that have had that name for like years.
Is a tower sage rewritten? For all time's sake.
Duck Windows, thank you so much for the 10,500 biddies. Oh my god, thank you so much. Duck Windows, I don't have time today, but I can do it on Saturday. Would you be okay with doing it on Saturday? Because today I only have like not too much time because I'm gonna be going to Toxon stream. Are you okay with doing it on Saturday? Sen, can you give me a reminder for Saturday? Are you okay with doing it on Saturday? It's like extremely short, but okay. Yeah. I'll do it on. I'll do it on. Yeah, please remind me, Sen, on Saturday. I'll do it. Duck Windows, if you want to remind me as well on Saturday, yeah, I'll do it on Saturday. Yeah, I would. Yeah, today will be Deltarune because I'm already. Well, the thing is that I wouldn't mind doing it right now, but like we're gonna be raiding Toxon really soon, so. But yeah, remind me and I'll absolutely do it because I loved doing Sage rerun. Yeah, Saturday Pizza Tower Sage rerun. Remind me to do that. It's pretty short, and I'll probably do Sunshine afterwards. Or I could probably play more. I don't know. I could probably play more Pizza Tower. Who cares? I'll probably play more Pizza Tower. Just remind me. But thank you so much, Duck Windows. I really appreciate it. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Oh my god. Primitive sculpture. Who knows what it represents? Actually, okay. Chris, whatever have you been doing? Okay, we already know this. So,
You.
what's up? I'm gonna be real with you, chat. I'm gonna be real with you, chat. Jockington scares the crap out of me. He scares the crap out of me. Jockington scares the crap out of me. Is it the smile? No. No, it's not the smile. Jockington has so much to him. The event is the trigger. This event is the trigger. This event is the trigger. So, Jockington's very close. Okay. I can go down this rabbit hole. I'll put the controller down for a second. Okay. Really quickly. So Jockington is connected to Caddy. Caddy is very specifically connected to demons and occults and stuff like that. Not to mention, Temmie had a tweet from a long time ago that said something along the lines of, a snake is just a cat's tail in disguise. Very interesting, because that's probably linked to the fact that the tail, what they call the tail of hell takes crawl, which, oh wow, very interesting. And then, not to mention, why is it specifically referring to cats? Like Caddy, and he's best friends with Caddy, and then also, the fact that like cats, image underscore friend, and Cats are so freaking frequent in the entire game. Jockington is specifically named in the prophecy. Not every character, not like the only other character that's probably referred to in the prophecy is Queen. And Queen isn't like her real name. It's like she has the serial number and all that other stuff. So you can probably see that another way. Like, but Jockington is specifically named. Specifically named in the prophecy. Twice. Oh, Serpentine. What does that mean? And they're hidden. Those things are hidden. Start the game over so I can catch up. You didn't miss too much. I skipped. I kind of went through a lot of the normal stuff. Jockington is very, very much linked to whatever this mystery is. A kid who looks average wealth but is actually the richest on the block, even more than Noel's family. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Also, speaking of cult, he has like a weird cultish following. He has like a strange cultish following, like some sort of like you know how it feels kind of like odd whenever you have like an OC in like your like new world and you make your OC like super popular and like really hip with the kids, and like your OC has like everybody kind of like dotting over them. That's what it feels like for Jockington. He has like an unreasonably like specific weird amount of fame, to the point of like kind of being a little uncomfortable, like not because like it's Jockington, but because it's like you don't understand why. It's like, think of it this way. Imagine meeting a person or hearing about a person that you've never heard of before that has like a bunch of fans, and I'm not talking about like a random Twitch streamer that has like 1 million followers. That's different. Like somebody within your home, like your hometown or your home like city, and it's somebody who has like a lot of people that are following them. It's like, oh, you've never heard of them, but they've been here all this time. It feels like alien, like unnatural. You know what I mean? Like it feels like this weird unnatural, like they've injected themselves into your world. He's probably a VTuber on Twitch. He has a webcam. Wait, did I not see your joke? I did see your joke, didn't I? Oh, saw my joke coming. Oh. Go, because I said not necessarily a Twitch streamer. Yeah, I get what you mean. That's how I felt when I finally hear about certain celebrities. So the difference is, right? I can totally see. Like, for example, send me a video with a bunch of different streamers, and we're all kind of lumped in together, like in one like compilation of a bunch of our clips, right? A lot of those streamers I've never seen in my entire life, right? But I can reasonably say, there's there's so many people in the world. There's probably like a million streamers, like millions of streamers that I've just never come into contact with, just because there's like so many people in the world, right? And people are interconnected with so many different communities. You can't see everybody. It's different when it's like in your hometown. Like this feels different. This feels like, also Toasty, thank you so much for the 30 watch streak. I really appreciate it. What do you mean forbidden from chat? This is a complete like spoiler, 100% spoiler stream. Unless it's not related to the game. So this feels like somebody injected themselves into the game and made themselves very popular for whatever reason. That's what it feels like. Well, that's probably not the case, but that's like that weird feeling from that. Not to mention, oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy, Toasty. That's an insane coincidence. So think of it this way. Yeah, so it's like really weird. It's incredibly strange. It feels like somebody's injected themselves into the game. Really weird. Not to mention all of like. By the way, this freaking character. So, this character and Jockington are in Chapter 1, both appearing in the same room. You will know that this character and Jockington both have weird garbled text in Chapters 3 and 4. It starts in Chapter 2, but it's so vague that you can't even tell. Right? Because here in Chapter 1, it's like, I love reading books, especially the books upstairs. You should really read them. Right? Normal text. Jockington already starts off talking weird, and that's probably like his speech quirk, right? But this guy, he'll have like a weird sentence. Like this sentence is all he's ever gonna say, because it's gonna be mixed up. Just like Lost Where the Forest Would Grow. You know what I mean? It's jumbled up, just like this text. His text is just freaking weird, especially in Chapter 4. By the way, this wasn't double doors in Survey Program, it was a single door. This is just talking about Toby making Chapter 2. Isn't it really weird? So, we know that, Chapter 6, Jockington takes his shades off, and the eyes are 8K resolution, makes the game run at 1 FPS, makes your computer console set on fire. It's a 1 over 999 gazillion chance. That's crazy. Church, double doors. The hospital has double doors. Obviously, double doors here. Locked. Obviously, this text, or like the text, but this is smile.ogg, or the Gaster noise over here set to a slow 666% slower than what it's supposed to be. This is the Gaster sound, which you'll hear in Chapter 2. Father Alvin is really weird. Because in Chapter 4, it's implied that he... So, like, in Chapter 2, it's implied that he dug up... Because, like, Gerson is dead and buried, right? Like, he's buried. Here he is, buried, right? Renowned historian, author, and teacher, right? He's buried here. The implication is, like, in Chapter 2, when you go ahead and speak to Alvin and you leave, he's like, I wonder if it's right to take this. Which is implied that he took out the actual, like, snow globe or whatever it was that holds Gerson, and he puts it in the church, knowing that the church is probably going to get a Dark World soon. We don't know if... Like, the weird part is the fact that he probably knew. Can we bring the thumbnail of Ross, I think? Is it the one with the freaking smile? The freaking creepypasta smile? That's so funny. Let me see, can I find that? Hold on. I'll say greatest villain image. Is it this? Hold on. Freaking swanky box, of course. With the knife, I found it. Rousey's betrayal. Let me zoom in on this. This is Chapter 1, I think. This is like before Chapter 2 came out. This is before Chapter 2 came out, if I remember correctly. It's crazy. so funny how bad that is. Rossi is just a bean. Yeah, it's pre-chapter 2, yeah. I remember that because I watched that video. A lot of people thought Rossi was going to be a bad guy. Throughout my career, some of my best ideas came from dreams. Interesting. Take a rest here if anybody asks your writing. My ideas came from dreams. Dreams is interesting. So, like, is it okay if I go into a little bit of Kingdom Hearts lore? I think it's a little bit relevant. It's a little bit relevant. In Kingdom Hearts, this is completely unrelated, but it's kind of interesting because there is a interesting thing. I remember that Dark Windows. Yes, there was a Chapter 3 prediction with Toriel killing Undyne because everybody was like, oh yeah, Toriel's gonna be in the world and we're gonna use her freaking fire. Was it called Fire Grave? It was so funny because they were like, oh, Snowgrave route. You're gonna kill Undyne with Toriel. You're gonna make her do it. So basically, in Kingdom Hearts, right, the Sleeping Realm, or the Realm of Sleep, is very closely directed to basically the World of Darkness, or something like that. Like, the heart. Like, in other words, darkness and sleep are very closely connected in Kingdom Hearts, right? And so, because, you know, obviously, when you go to sleep, you cover yourself in darkness, and you go to bed, and you go unconscious and all that stuff, right? Sleeping and darkness kind of go hand in hand. So I wouldn't be surprised if the concept of dreams and the concept of darkness are kind of in this weird intertwined kind of thing, right? If imagination can affect... Oh, hi. If imagination can affect a dark world, right? Why can't a dream also affect the dark world? Hopes and memes. What the heck is Swanky Box doing these days? I don't think I've seen him anything recently. I haven't watched him in a long time. Excuse me, also... Not here. That's politics. Rarely. Okay. This is like the layout of the house, of like hometown, right? Painting of the town. Like a set of two houses. I'm just trying to see what the layout is. You can obviously see like a little structure over here to the left, and that could be like the holiday house. This could still very well be like more closely related to like conceptual art that's like not necessarily like indicative of what the actual layout of the final game is, because again, this is all chapter 1. Looks like he's still making analysis videos, but what's the like the latest analysis video he made? What do you call it? I'm just wondering if the two house, like that house with the double, you know, that house with like two, like the garage and like the Zelda N64 related. Oh, really? Interesting. Like beta version? Oh, my inventory. Yeah. So we can check the inventory real quick. We have the egg. Not too important, not too unimportant. There's a small shard of something in your pocket. It feels like glass, but... You look through the glass. For some strange reason, for a brief moment, you thought you saw through your hand. Fascinating. Chair. Maybe it's into politics. I think it turns into needles. What the glass? Look through the glass, but nothing happened. Oh, you just said okay. No, you're fine, Duck Windows. It's because like I've been recently looking at the beta for Ocarina of Time. I've been very fascinated by it. We're not gonna talk to Rudy this time. Well, actually, we could talk to Rudy. We're not gonna talk to Rudy in Chapter 2. Rudy has very interesting dialogue in Chapter 4. If you do not talk to him with Susie. Lex, thank you so much for the tier 1. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. As Deltarune, we are yapping. We're gonna be rating Toxon in a few. So I hope you're all excited for Toxon stream. Toxon will not be. There won't be spoilers for Toxon stream because Toxon has not played too much past Chapter 1. No, you're fine. You're fine. He is. Now, who the hell are you? You know, good question. I'm Sans, your friend. Tokuson's gonna be voicing Sans, by the way. Friends. Whoa there, Tiger. You can't just jump straight into friendship. It takes time. Alright, that's enough time. Take this. Call it whatever you feel like. Got Sans' number. Hello? You have reached the hotline for idiot babies. Press 1 if for idiots, 2 for babies, 3 for idiot babies, and 4 for none. Chat, I'm gonna let you decide. First one. 4? Really? None? 4. Okay. Why'd you call the hotline for idiot babies if you aren't an idiot baby? Like... Two. If you say that you're, I was gonna say he's still in Chapter 1, but I remembered I just skimmed through Chapter 1 as fast as possible now. I kind of did... So, oh, hey, bud. I also kind of skimmed through Chapter 1, because Chapter 1 is... Chapter 1 has a lot of setup. I will say Chapter 1 has, like, an insane amount of setup. Like, it is the... It's probably... In terms of setup, probably some of the most dense, like, amount of setup that I've seen in a game. But it's so... like, very well weaved into the narrative that you can't even tell that you're being set up for a lot of these things. Like, you can't even tell that you're being set up. It's not as fun as Chapter 2 or 3. Chapter 3 is my favorite. Don't want to hang out with a stranger. I'm not gonna be there, it's gonna be weird. It's me and my little brother. He needs friends. I will say, something that's pretty fascinating is that every time you finish doing an interaction, I don't know if it's just a code thing, but whenever you do an interaction with something or like an event happens, Chris always turns towards the player. Also, this freaking guy. This is the nice cream guy, by the way. Got normal, cheese, ice, gravy, double ice, pepperonis, and more. Stop down at Icy's Pizza. A little ear sticking out. Yeah, don't you see it? I didn't even realize about the ears. Yeah, he's got this little ear sticking out. Someone's actually here. Sen, do you want to voice... Sen, do you want to voice Pizza Pants? Okay, good. I think you should be the one who voices Pizza Pants. I love being him. So if you could talk about coworkers... Meet the Rogues Gallery. Interesting dialogue here. Blue ears, soft-served, obsessed, no concept of personal space. The first time I ever saw Deltarune was the befriending your mom's screenshot on the Amino of all places, and almost spoiling myself with the night fight on YouTube until I finally realized what was happening. That's crazy. Especially, like, with the Sans dialogue. Because Sans will say, I befriended your mom last night. Which is exactly what happened. That's like, he's not lying. Okay, look at this, Sen. Blue ears, soft serve, obsessed, no concept of personal space, keeps accidentally pouring slushies on me and giggling. That's literally just... and giggling. Like, yeah, no, no, Eggman, they are. Like, you can absolutely, yeah. That's literally just, like, the first hint. Constantly terrorizing customers with war chants. Man, that guy, you gotta... Actually, does that guy even work here? Okay, so what's really interesting is that, So what's actually interesting is that when he said purple guy, I thought it was and probably still is, like a FNAF reference. Like, you can see kind of this thing, icon look over here, looking like Freddy a little bit. But they're actually talking about this guy specifically. Right? They're talking about... This is the purple guy, by the way. Which is weird. This guy is weird. Who is he even? I don't know. Because he pops up in 2 other places. He'll pop up in the diner in Chapter 2. And then from here on, I think in Chapter 4, he'll pop up in the... No, he's not Caddy's dad. Caddy's dad is right here. Yeah, Caddy's dad is right here. Hello there, Douglas. I have to do that voice. The Flower King. It's your dad's truck. The floor front seat is littered with old papers and country CDs. So you can see this little kind of piece of patch, like a patch of dirt over here. In Chapter 2 and onwards, you can interact with over here, and it's basically implied to be the exit or something of whatever this is. There's something here, and it'll tell you that there's a corkboard in that room. Very weird. What's up? Do you want... Yeah, I can put the egg in the fridge. I don't know... Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if putting the eggs in those locations are important or not. Caddy's dress in the Earth sprite is seen in Mother's title screen. Really? Hold on, let me see. Like this? Or you're talking... No, you said... Yeah, this is Caddy. This is the other one. You know, that actually does look like kind of Earth, like the planet. Yeah, it does look like a planet. What's that gonna do in Chapter 5? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if it's gonna do anything. Like, if it's actually important to put the eggs where they're supposed to be. I like how the water is frozen. You see that? The water's not moving. He's not doing anything. The water is frozen. The water is just frozen. Do you see that? Asgore just chaos controlled this water. It's true. It is giving Timmy a better grade. You're right. Pink and yellow. Got the pink and gold. It's a flower. It's a cash register. There's not much change inside. There are various flowers inside. This is going to be important for Chapter 5, so we're going to probably look a little bit into it. So this is right here. This is interesting. To note, it says, no rent received. Again, stop giving away flowers. Start selling them. You have 1 month. C. So that's Carol, obviously. Various bags of soil. It's a dirty watering can. There's some sort of dirty fur stuck in the drain. An air mattress. It's certainly not king-sized. So, there's a TV here. It's a small TV on top of some superhero comics. So, is it superhero comics or is it manga? I need to know. Presumably those were given to him by Alfie's. It's a golden flower protected in a container. It's a cyan flower protected in a container. It's a yellow flower protected in a container. An orange flower protected in a container. Green flower protected in a container. Purple flower protected in a container. Blue flower protected in a container. It's, yeah, I'm thinking it's probably manga. Okay. It's a door. It's locked. Okay. So I'm thinking these flowers, if I remember correctly, these flowers are implied to be the wedding flowers that Asgore had. And so Asgore is keeping them in like keeping them alive essentially. Because he's still stuck in the past from his wedding day. Right? And we are pretty sure. Okay. So, can't you see the can't you see the corpse through outside the window in chapter 2 onwards? Yeah, you can. Okay, so think of it this way. So the chapter 4, so there's a secret chapter 4 prophecy stained glass panel, right? And that says the flower man trapped in asylum, right? And it's an image of basically Asgore, and you can see Asgore's king, like you see Asgore's crown, holding a flower. Now, a lot of people think that that Asgore, and by the way, it's called Boss 3 or something like that. It's basically the boss for Chapter 5, right? A lot of people think that we're going to be fighting Asgore in Chapter 5, and while that might be possible, another interpretation of that is the fact that the flower itself, because we're in a dark world, that is the flower man that's trapped in asylum. And what's the asylum? It's Asgore and the container that it's being held in. All these flowers are trapped in their own unique asylum, specifically given to them by Asgore. If that makes sense. They're all encased. They're basically frozen in time to capture the memory of an event that no longer matters. If that makes sense. So, if these flowers hold any sort of like memory of that time, they're all going to be referencing that event, right? So if they're his actual wedding flowers, they're all going to reference that specific day, and they're probably going to be on Asgore's side in reverence of that wedding day, right? Maybe not all of them exactly, but I'm assuming every single one of these are going to be a Darkner. That's my assumption. And there seems to be particular focus. There seems to be particular focus on the one that I'm currently looking at right now. If there is any one of these that would be the flower man trapped in asylum, assuming that it's not referring to Asgore, it's this freaking flower. The golden flowy freaking flower. It would be this one. Are they gonna look like flowers in the Dark World? I don't know. But that sun is very suspicious, isn't it? This is a sunflower. This is a sunflower. Right? And the representation of darkners or objects in the Dark World can be anything. And so, what happens when something that's living but it's also considered to be an object goes into the Dark World? Oh, so give me a quick second. Hold on, let me be real quick. I'm being called.
It's TV time.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay. So yes, basically, just kind of like a quick Chapter 5 discussion really quick. Thank you for the Pippus emote. For the Chapter 5 discussion really quick, since we're basically towards the end of the stream, we're gonna raid Tokusan soon. For Chapter 5, my personal theory, this is like my theory, I could be entirely wrong, is that every single one of these flowers are going to be basically talking about the wedding, and they're all going to be basically kind of like stuck in the past. The whole idea of chapter 5 is being stuck in the past and kind of like trying to stay there as much as you can, but it's inevitable kind of situation. It's like you can't be in the past forever, right? Like at some point you need to move on, right? And so we might be trying to help Asgore move on from the wedding and probably find his own thing that he can probably do. And by helping him, and it could be possible that like this golden flower being the boss, probably the strongest one doesn't want Asgore at all to do that, and we have to fight it so that we can help Asgore kind of come into terms with, you know, his situation. And maybe these other flowers are like friends that we make along the way, or like we convince them in a different way. Maybe we convince some and don't convince others. In other words, but basically the idea is they have a hard time moving on. There's a glimpse of one of Omega Flower's attacks, so I'm hoping the rest are all... Yeah, I'm assuming that too. Because we have the Cyan Flower, and we saw the knives from that attack, so they could have the attacks from all the other souls. So you're definitely right. It probably could happen. So the idea... So again, my idea is that Chapter 5 is going to be referencing that wedding. And, it has, like, how do I say this? It's going to be referencing the wedding. It's going to be also... Maybe not necessarily the wedding itself. It's probably going to be more representative of Asgore's, like, love for Torio and his not willing to let go of that. So it might reference the wedding stuff, but it might more so reference the overall relationship between Asgore and Torio, right? And how he not the freaking gassy flower in the bottom right. So it's probably going to be referencing that. And at the same time, our heroes are in denial. They're kind of in denial. They're in this state of, let's have one more fun adventure. Like, things are gonna get rough soon. So they're kind of like, let's not worry about this. Let's look over here instead. Let's have one last final adventure. Right? And it feels like a forced kind of like, let's have fun, let's have fun. They're kind of saying, even though deep down they know that they're something's gonna happen. And I'd imagine that the tides are gonna turn pretty quickly towards the end. Like, it's gonna be happy-go-lucky, and then towards the end, things are gonna get really serious. Yeah, fake happiness, right? And so maybe we will get into, like, maybe we will come into make Asgore come to terms, but we ourselves are probably going to have something happen. Yeah, it's like bottling up your emotions, essentially. Exactly. And then, obviously, what's it called? The Inferno of Jealousy and all that other stuff. Fake happiness is what I have all the time. So we have the Inferno of Jealousy, which is probably related to Asgore, but it could also be related to Caddy, who probably likes Noelle a lot, and Caddy's talking about fire magic. There's a lot that it could be. It could be related to Caddy, it could be related to Asgore. The strongest is probably related to Asgore, but we can't roll out the Caddy conversation. Martis made a... Oh, before you go... Hi, Rekko. I remember an artist made a recreation shots of a dream they had playing Chapter 5, and all I can remember is the last screenshot was Asgore slapping Alphys while making a dirt fountain. Hold on, let's do Onion-san, and then, because I think it's almost time. I think Tokusan starts at 7:30 for me, so I need to do some of this stuff and then end. So for chapter 1, you should probably do this day. Hey there, noticed you were here. It's me, you know me, right? Of course you do. I'm the real popular. I don't have any friends. Okay, you here? Because you're here. Will you be my friend? Oh, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy I don't know what to do. I don't remember being this happy before. What's your name, friend? Chris. That you? That's a real nice name for a friend. Oh, excuse me, I forgot to introduce myself. Actually, since no one talks to me, I forgot my own name. Chris, can you give me a name? Onion. Perfect, you hear? I don't know what it means, but it's perfect. Feels like it's shaped like me. Smells like me. That's terrible. Yum? Christmas. Come back soon, you hear? Remember, okay, really quickly, because we're getting close to end of stream and Tokusan, we're not going to talk about spoilers for Tokusan. I will do this on Sunday. I'll do a stream of Deltarune on Sunday. Oh, Noelle's not here. That's for... Wait, why is Noelle not here? Shouldn't Noelle be here? Oh, because she's with their dad. Okay, really quick day, since I'm running low on time. Something you want to set up for Chapter 2. So you go to the hospital, you do the interaction with Noelle, and then once Noelle, that interaction is done, you're gonna go over here, and Noelle is gonna be basically she's gonna be locked out of her home. You talk to Noelle, and then she's gonna ask about Susie. When she asks about Susie, you can talk about chalk, and then she will give you in Chapter 2, at the beginning of Chapter 2, she'll give you some chalk, and that chalk will be an item that you can use. It's called light candy. And it'll heal you for a decent amount. But we're gonna go over here. It's your mom's van. Oh, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go really quick. We're basically finishing the game. We're basically gonna finish. So we're finishing up with the game. What was I gonna say? I was trying to let me try to bring something up. Oh, I want you to remember, since we're gonna go into Tokusan stream, we're probably gonna start Chapter 2, depending on how far we get into Chapter 1. There's a part in Chapter 2 which where they have truces set up. Where it's like, oh, Queen, Chris, and Noelle have truces. There's a theory going on. It's called triple truce theory, and it might that truce, like that truce, it might be a reference to the actual truce that Chris has. By the way, that Chris has with, like, in the actual story of the game. So keep an eye on that kind of relationship. Because Queen is kind of like a parallel for Noelle. I mean, Noelle, for Carol, in a sense, but, like, more drunk. So you can move your heart here. So something to keep in mind. Hi, Alpha. We'll be reading into Tokusan soon, and I'll be, Chris wants pie. Get to a quick bathroom break. I'm gonna join Cole. I'm gonna probably do a bathroom break too. Shadows start to grow. Places that you know. Fantasy.
There's a light inside your soul,
Light in your soul.
that's still shining
In the cold. Very interesting.
the truth, the promise in our hearts.
Talking about a promise. And don't forget,
Don't forget, I'm with you in the
I'm with you in the dark. And that's the end for chapter 1. Hold on, I'm being called again. Hold on, give me a quick second. Okay, actually, no, hold on. Give me a quick second, and then we'll end. We'll join on Tucson.
Rah! Deltarune, just 6 days away. Can you believe it? Deltarune, just 6 tomorrow aways. Yippee!
Okay, sorry about that. We're gonna end. We're gonna go ahead and raid Tucson, and then I'll be on his stream. So, sorry about that. Sorry about that. We're just gonna go ahead and exit the game now. There you go. Okay, Tucson's grabbing his dessert right now. Let me just go ahead. We're gonna raid some Memoria. Well, chat, thank you all so much for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and join the stream. So I'll catch you all next time. Wait, what do you mean he's offline? Yeah, we're waiting. What the heck? I didn't say he started. You were telling me he was gonna start. I kind of want to right into him. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, actually, can I pee? I'm gonna do a quick pee. We're gonna pee. I'm gonna pee. It's like that one community meme. I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna put some clips. BRB.
Send our two kisses, send our two kisses, send our two kisses, send our two kisses, send our two kisses.
Why does he say that weird? She said, oh. What? That was perfect timing. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. See vampires, Zoe. What? How did I do that? Wait, I've never seen that happen before. Can someone clip that?
Send our two glum, send our two glum, send our two glum, send our two glum, send our two glum.
Gotcha. Sora, the balls!
Toxinatus sweatus, toxinatus sweatus,
Did you hear that? I
toxinatus
picked up
sweatus,
an item as I
toxinatus
died.
sweatus, toxinatus sweatus.
I can swim now! Well, I'm getting this pie. Oh, before I go to bed, I didn't get the show. But careful, Toasty. He's right there.
Jacleviap.
Careful. Oh, that's how you're supposed to normally get through that. I ain't going to do that. I'm dead. Thanks, Nibby. Thanks for the assist.
Here's a fun fact for you all. Did you know you can just do this?
Oh my god, Ogie's going to heaven. Oh shoot! Phase 3? What's happening? Got 3-minute ads. Oh my god, I did it. The moment ads start, I do it. I don't know what the light dash is yet, Nimmy. Oh! Nimmy! Oh, that was a risk and a half. Oh! Moon jump, San, you moon dragon, what have you done? Where am I going? Ah! Identify the problem, but you're not doing anything. Well, that's a lot higher than before. But my is that terrible. I think you know you want to use it on. I think I know what level you might want to use it on. You disabled jump! I can't wait. I can still do it. I can. No, I can't. Oh my god! Just die already! What? I didn't mean me! He's approaching me. Where did it? What? What? Pool? Who teleport?
Matesly, 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 Matesly. Jax, do you know about the Pen 15 Club?
Yes, I know about the. Ah!
It's that negative combo.
That means that would take away combo. Wait, does it do the cool finisher? Yes! That's how many of these cool finishes have I gotten this run? It's like desynced. What is happening? Hold on. I can't pause and. Why is it desynced? That's so weird. This was always desynced? Really? If you wait, really? Did you see Sora's eyes? Did you see his eyes? Can we have a clip of this saying typical Jex stream? I like how you put hello, hello, hello as the fish looked like it was trying to talk to me.
Mandy Parsley just rated us with a party of 4. Let's give him a warm welcome.
You know, I'm still. Oh my god, I was doing stuff and then I come back and I'm being raided. Then I'm gonna go raid Toxon. Welcome in, Raiders. Bandy, I had a dream about you telling me that I was homophobic, and that's scary. I hated that. Why did you tell me that dream, Bandy? Gave me anxiety for the rest of the night. How was Soma? It legit kind of made me feel bad during that. I mean, it was a dream, but I was just like, but it was scary, dude. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. We're gonna be raiding. Yeah, Toxon's. We're gonna be raiding Toxon. I am so sorry. I was supposed to be raiding Toxon earlier, but Toxon decided, oh, I'm not. I'm gonna go get food. It's so stressful. I heard someone was very stressful. I've heard it. It is a horror game. By the way, I will be on Toxon stream. So I'm gonna be on Toxon stream again. Sorry to cut it so short, but Toxon is already live, and I'm supposed to be there. So I am so sorry, but thank you so much, Benny. I really appreciate it. Yeah, raid out with us. Raid message will be Deltarune time. It's Toxon's first time playing Deltarune, so we're going through the playthrough and we're getting ready for Chapter 5. Chat, thank you all so much for joining the stream. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the Toxon side. Bye-bye! Bye!